Darling, forever I would trade it for your love, your joy forever.
Phone poppy, and she call me Young Poppy. That's my little shawty. She get thicky in the body. She got hottie toddy when she make it away from me. Got that body on you, girl. You know I wanna play some hide and seek. You're someone that I wanna meet. You're someone that I wanna see. You're someone that I wanna see. And I got every idea in mind to get you poppin'. She said she just wants some liquor, so just stop it. I don't pop no pills or do none of that extra. I be chillin', smoking ganja with my niggas. I got so much, so many dreams, so many things to hold up. So many things on my mind. So many things, so let's shine.
Welcome back to Unrestricted Free Agent. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We hope you liked last week's episode. I'm here today with none other than Mike Amius, one of Palm Beach's biggest sleepers. He had a hell of a basketball journey up to this point. Still not done yet. Once again, it's an Unrestricted Free Agent. We always start off by letting the guests kind of rattle off their accolades. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike. Where you played at, the heights you've taken it to. Rattle off some of your stats, brag on yourself a little bit.
Where I played at high school, I played high school basketball at Santa Lucius. I didn't play varsity till like my junior year, so I like a late bloomer. I came to high school probably like 6 foot, and I ended up being like 6'8" by the time I was a senior.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, but everything kind of took off when I got to college. Like started peaking, started understanding the game a little bit better, and. Freshman year, didn't really play that much. I was at a Juco. Sophomore year, kind of blew up, got some buzz. And then final year in college, that's when everything kind of started to click. Was all conference that year. Had a pretty good season overall.
And that was your junior or your senior year?
That was my junior year.
Yeah, you got to make that distinction because they think you finished college. You went early, so talk about
Yeah, that was just like a personal decision. Honestly, I feel like I was ready. And, to kind of take the next step, I didn't feel like there was much to improve on in terms of, I'm not saying I had nothing else to improve on, but I didn't feel like the level that I wanted to be at, I just wasn't sure if college was for cutting no more.
Yeah, that's real.
So kind of made that decision to turn pro. And, I just kind of been grinding since, really, just learning the game from the pro side, not the college side. Everything is a little bit different when it comes to that.
So yeah, kind of picking up where he left off. So went to St. Lucius, one of the coldest high schools out here. They had some rough patches, but I remember them back in like the early 2000s when my dogs played on them when they went to state a little bit. So great
tough.
coach, amazing coach all through the years. So then you go Juco, you go to North Platte, community college. Juco Life is different. We're gonna get into that a little bit. Like you said, had to earn your stripes. Freshman year, kind of just learned the ropes. Sophomore year, kind of took off. Had a bunch of double-doubles, bunch of 20-point games, get your offer from Western Carolina. Go there. Again, only played 1 year, your junior year there, averaged 12.7 points, 5.6 rebounds, started 30 games out of 32. And then, as we said, early entry into the draft. All right, so you put your name in the draft, end up going to the G League, end up going overseas. You play in France League 3, average 10 points, 4 rebounds. And then in Spain, LEB, where you average 9 points and 4 rebounds. So you played a lot. And again, it's crazy because even when I brought you on here, like people wouldn't have known that because after high school, it's not like people stop following, but they kind of tune out a little bit until your name pops back up and they're like, oh shoot. Like I remember him from when he was, because as you said, you were a late bloomer in high school. So it wasn't like your name was plastered everywhere for all state, all everything like that. But then after high school, you kind of grew into yourself and your game and you got better. So that's kind of an inspiring story. For everybody else. So talk about the Juco life a little bit. I know the stigma for Juco when I was in high school was, oh, they only go to Juco because you don't have grades. My mom wasn't having that. But it's actually a really good tool for a lot of players just to adjust to the college level. And even for those, again, might be a little lower on the academic side, but might just need a little bit more exposure. Like they know they have the talent, they just need a little bit more exposure.
Yeah.
So talk about just the jump from first high school to JUCO, and then from JUCO to the D1 you were at.
I say JUCO is definitely it's like a dog-eat-dog world, to be honest. Like, I don't gotta explain. Like the people that play JUCO know it's, you know,
it's a gauntlet, bro.
You have to be good up here, you know, because if you're not, I knew guys that was leaving after like the first 2
that's what I was gonna say. The turnover ratio for JUCO is crazy. Some people really just don't make it out. Like, don't make it out.
It was crazy, man. I mean, in high school, I would say like it was a turnaround because, you know, I wasn't ready for it in terms of like the intensity that I had to come at. I kind of came on campus kind of like I was kind of thinking that everything was kind of made for me. So I was like coasting in the practices. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't going 100%. And I remember seeing the depth chart. We had a depth chart. So, you know, the point guards, the two guards, the three. So I was at the 3 spot. So I was like, all right, you know, that's cool. But as the week started going by, just kept dropping me down until I got to the 5, until it was to the point where I was like not seeing the floor. And that was kind of where like everything kind of started clicking. And it was just kind of like, you know, just kind of grinded it out and stuff like that. But yeah, the JUCO life, man, it's you really love basketball if you got the mental fortitude to kind of like play there, kill, and like just get out of there. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, man. You know, just the style of play, the practices, like I said, everything down to the food. Food was.
They don't know about that.
People be talking trash about high school food, boy. You ain't ready for that JUCO.
They don't know about that.
Yeah, man. So it was definitely an experience that I would say like I carry to me to this day. I think that's where I got the mentality that I have now to keep playing basketball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It all started from the JUCO.
And then even the transition, so JUCO, like you said, you had to kind of learn the ropes. Yeah. Then you kind of find your foot in that sophomore year. And then you get your offer from Western Carolina. Was there any other schools involved? How'd you choose them? And then the transition for where you kind of hit the ground running. Yeah. Some people still need that kind of adjustment when they go from JUCO to, you know, a program, and other players are just ready. How did you know you were ready, and then kind of what was that like?
Honestly, it's crazy, like with the whole hit the ground running. First 5 games, it was hell. Like I was getting killed. I was still playing the 5. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get to move up a position like I wanted to, and so I'm playing 5 against national champs. Like our first fight, you know how the
first few games is the money games.
Killing you. So I mean, it took me a little bit to get adjusted, but when it started, you know, when I kind of started, like when I took a deep breath, that's kind of when, you know, I started rolling. But college decision-wise and offer-wise, it's crazy. I didn't have any Division I offers out of like after the season ended, I didn't really have no Division I offers. Like everybody was shocked. I was shocked. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah. So I was like, at that point, I'm like, damn, do I really want to play basketball still? Like, just because, you know, like, why would I go JUCO 2 years and then still not be able to go D1? Yeah. So my pop, you know, me and him were real close, and he actually knew a coach from Western. You know, he from Tennessee, so it's like those folk, they kind of close community-wise. And I guess another coach that he knew went to one of his camps, and they introduced me. And when they introduced me, they're like, why don't you have no other offers? Like, you are #1 guy right now. Like I'm talking about, they was like, yo, you got to sign with us immediately. And from then on, like, I was just like, you know what? Since it's nobody else but the way they treated me, since they kind of trying to take a chance on me, since I feel that energy, since they believe in me, I took it. And it's crazy because as soon as I signed with them boys, all these other D1s came. Like,
that's crazy. That's what people don't understand. All it takes is one, bro.
Man, that's it. But I mean, I'm happy that they chose me. I had a great year. I had, you know, met some good people. But that was also another learning experience as well. So.
And then go into, as we said, you kind of entered the draft early. Had a little stunt with the G League, and then go overseas. Go into kind of that transition and how that was like, And each stop, you know, because you said, I know your life story has kind of been, has just been a lesson in everything, every stop. So talk about just a lesson that each of those destinations taught you. So from just the pre-draft process to then the G League to then the overseas.
Pre-draft process was a little funky. It was just kind of a decision that, like, publicly, it made it seem like I was doing it out of the blue. But, you know, I was already kind of telling myself I wanted to be a pro after my last year in Juco. So it was a little funky. I didn't really get the experience that I would have wanted to have. My school was pissed.
Really?
Yeah, they was pissed, bro. Like, to this day.
Like they wanted you to stay.
Big time, yeah. Like they didn't like that, so I don't, you know, it was kind of hard for me to, you know, try and ask them for help, knowing that I'm not helping them by leaving. You know what I'm saying? They be doing me service more than, you know, the other way around. But I ended up linking up with an agent. I say late in the year, so I didn't really get to do all the pre-draft stuff up until, you know, G League time came. And I met my first agent, and, you know, he kind of introduced me to the pro style and how everything was working and stuff like that. And then, you know, short time, like, he got me drafted to the Bulls. And just for the time being and everything that I was experiencing those last couple months, seeing all the pros, like my first time seeing like NBA players and stuff in person, and it was just like maturing me. Because at the time I'm thinking like, man, nobody worked harder than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
that's how everybody feel, of course.
Yeah, until you get, you know what I'm saying? Until you get humbled, you run into people that may work harder than you. And so that just kind of started having me like, but sometimes I like being down here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I like learning. I'm a visual learner, but it just gives me something to aim for. Like sometimes when you kind of get, you know, you lose that motivational factor and you need something to chase, like looking at a Jordan or a Kobe or even like a,
you always need a frame of reference.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't do nothing until you actually see someone in front of you and you just kind of like, this is what I'm going to try and this is where I'm going to try and meet you and stuff like that. So I would say, like, from that standpoint, it was teaching me a little bit of everything. A lot of stuff was coming to me at once, but, you know, I kind of picked it up when the time came.
That's real. And then, so again, like I said, you do that, and then talk about just kind of how that fell through, and then how you got your first offer, and then the second stunt too.
For France in Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shaky. I mean, after I got drafted, I flew out to Chicago for a few days, and there's like a series of stuff you gotta, you know, pass and qualify, this and that, and there's all that stuff, and it kind of fell through for me for that. And I was hurt at the time because they did waive me like 2 or 3 days in the training camp, but I never practiced with the team.
Yeah.
So I think that was when I was like 21 maybe. At the time, that's what hurt me the most. It was the fact that
it had nothing to do with even on the court stuff.
Man.
Yeah, it wasn't even like you wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I was like, dog, like I was right there looking at. I'm talking about, and when the first few days we was in the United Center, so it was like looking at all the legacy, the Bull statue. Like we was having lunch with people. There's so much more that goes into like the game of basketball, bro. Like we're having lunch when the employees of the United Center, employees of the Bulls were having lunch. It's probably like 300-400 people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So much that goes behind closed doors. But yeah, that transition was kind of tough. But you know, in this game, you can't. It's really no time to, you know, think about that. Yeah. Sulk and sob, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no time to think about that, especially if you're trying to get a job. And so I actually ended up missing that whole year. Switched agencies, switched to a more overseas-based agency just to help me kind of get my foot back in the door and stuff like that. And, you know, in no time, they found me a job in France. And that was actually a crazy experience because for the longest, I did not want to leave the crib, bro. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's a tough adjustment to make for everybody. People don't think about it until it's like it's time to go, and you're like, dang,
Nah.
like I really gotta leave all this like for X amount of time. Like,
I would have been cool if the place in France was like, bro, it wasn't nothing. I ain't gonna lie. It was like 7,000 people.
oh dang, yeah,
Man,
that's tough.
it was rural, man. In my mind, I'm like, man, I'm about to go to like be around Paris.
Yeah. All right, that's what you think.
So like I'm there, man, and man, I would say I ain't gonna lie. I would say I encountered the most growth there because there was nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't do nothing else but focus on hoops, focus on how to get better. And, you know, it was literally like, first I had to buy a PlayStation because if I didn't, I would have went
That's
crazy,
why most people
bro.
turn to gamers. You think that's like a joke. That's why
Man.
most people would go overseas. They go,
Back in
you
the
got
day,
all
I'm
that
like,
free time. You don't know
yeah,
what
I'm
to
like,
do with it.
For real, I'm like, back in the day, I'm like, man, these dudes tripping on the game all day. And then I got there and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm on the game.
Yeah,
too.
who on live right now?
Man, I'm telling you. But that was an interesting experience just because, like, man, there was just so much being thrown at you at once. The language barrier, the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, the people were all right, but it was just so much to learn at once. Like, and it was tough that I was the only American on that team.
Oh, so you was the only import.
Man, it was crazy, yeah. So it was a lot of expectation on me. I started the season off pretty good, you know, averaging about like 17 and 10. But then I went down, and then we started losing.
Yeah.
And then things just kind of started falling apart from there. Tensions was arising. Coaches was getting fired. Like,
Yeah.
team was in turmoil. So I was like, honestly, you know, by the time I came back, it was just kind of like everything just kind of fizzled out. So I was like, you know what, I think the best option would be to, you know, leave. And we mutually agreed, you know, to send me elsewhere. And that's where I ended up in Spain.
Yeah.
And bigger city, like 300,000 people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I kind of was able to like pop my collar a little bit and like take a breath of fresh air. That was a really nice experience because the city was vast, bro. And the culture was like, you step outside and that's all you see is their culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the fans was crazy. They had a really big soccer club. Their basketball club was pretty solid too, just in terms of just like the location and the demographics. Beautiful city. I was only able to spend about a month and some change there because of the pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, that hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, so, I mean, since that kind of happened, things just kind of, again, I've just been working at everything that I can to just get back to where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
So
the first topic we're going to go into is just segment just about showing love and also kind of giving people insight into how good some of the talent level is from people you played against. Because, like I always talk about since episode, when people have no clue how good some of these cats are, even like I said, the players who don't even make the league, but just kind of how good you have to be to play at a high level. So the first question is, who was your favorite teammate at any level? So it could be from high school, from middle school, all the way up until overseas. And then, again, the best player you ever played against at any level and how much they gave you.
favorite teammate? See, it's my boys. Don't take this personal.
I was going to say, you don't got to hurt no step on no toes.
Don't take this personal. I had a homie. He was my roommate my freshman year. His name was Lito Holloway. This dude was a dog. You could tell he was in Juco because of his grades. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't because of who he was as a player. The reason why he was like my favorite teammate is just he just put me on. Like, he kind of put me on to the game, but he was kind of, since my freshman year was tough, he was kind of like instilling that confidence in me.
Yeah,
So,
everybody needs that. That's love right there.
Yeah, so like even when he was having good games, even when he was having bad games, he was still like hype, trying to like kind of get on me and just kind of telling me like, yo, you that dude. You know what I'm saying? And hearing him and being around him every day, his roommates and stuff, we was both freshmen. Like, I needed that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I say Lito, you know what I'm saying, my boy, favorite teammate.
And then coldest player you played against and how much they gave you. And there's always a story attached, so feel free to share the story too.
Sheesh. Coldest player, I'm gonna go Western. We had Fletcher Mcgee, man.
Really?
Gee, man.
I always get surprised when I hear this because it's always the
Fletcher
name I wouldn't
Mcgee.
expect.
Yeah, he was. I just didn't expect it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was talking about him the whole year, and, you know, he was a junior. He was there 3 years busting tails in the SoCon. It was my first and only year. I don't know much about him. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time I'm playing him. And it might have actually been the second time. And we game planned him so good, dog. I'm talking about, we might have boxed and won him anytime we got the ball. We trapping his ass in the corners, man. We running him off the three-point line, doing all this. So it's about 7 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
He got 4 points. This man ended with 21.
Oh, man.
And I'm talking about, like, he hitting contested shots. Like I said, we game planned against him. These shots ain't open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this dude took down some good teams that year too. Like, I think that he took down UNC, a couple other high major schools. But like, I think we kind of let our foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And he just started cooking, dog. Like, there wasn't no stopping him. There wasn't no stopping him at all, dog. There's a play where I'm talking about, I might have fouled him on purpose. I think I did. Like, I didn't let him land, no landing play. They didn't call it. This man he probably was at where we sitting. Drained it.
Dang.
He was cold.
I'm going to see if I can find that video.
Man, don't be showing nobody that shit. Don't be showing.
That just might give you nightmares. So you ain't even let him land. You up under him like this.
I didn't care, dog. I said, man, you not about to beat us. And he did. So it's just like, I give it to him. You earn my respect, man. He was a killer.
That's crazy. I would have never expected that. Out of everybody I could have thought of in my mind before you came, I would have never expected Fletcher.
Yeah, he
was a cold cat, though.
He was tough. See, I didn't really include, when you say played against, I try to, kind of go the end game route. Like, we're talking like pickup. It's definitely
pro runs. Yeah, you can go into that too. Go ahead, you can go into that too.
Pro runs, I say Michael Beasley, to be honest.
Everybody who's played with Michael Beasley will say the same thing. This man is a universal bucket. It don't matter where you played him, where you saw him play, bro.
I don't understand why this guy's not in the league, like, honestly. But it wasn't fair how they did me. Like, I was a new kid on the block.
Yeah. They always gonna do you like that, though.
They
That's
just
how
kept
it works.
force feeding him.
That's what I was gonna say.
Damn, I'm huffing and puffing trying to guard this man, bro. Every possession, it was like we was playing ones. It didn't even feel like 5 no more. I'm like, man, this set me up, man. Come on, bro.
That's how it always goes. So then the next thing, and again, we alluded to this before, you had a little break in between the playing stunts, and even just now. Another thing that the average person just don't understand, and I guess kind of why we go over the mental health thing and stuff like that, just how mentally tough and strong you have to be in your off season. So talk a little bit about just your off season routine, how hard it is to stay engaged and mentally focused. You know, how you have to kind of push yourself to maintain a certain level of being in shape, a certain level of, skill sets to when you do get that call, like you're ready. Because as you know, when most people don't, when you get that call for overseas, sometimes it's, hey, the season starts in a week. It's not some contracts, the season starts in the spring, you have a few months to get in shape. Some, you're on the plane Friday. Like, come on, and you better be ready to play, or we're sending you back home. So just talk about kind of just how the off season looks for you. And the work ethic you kind of have to have in between contracts.
I mean, it takes a village, dog. I mean, if you really want to think about it like that, because like you can't individually do it by yourself. Like, no matter how bad you want to tell yourself that, like, man, like I want it bad.
Yeah.
It's tough to have that sustainability, like, especially when it comes to training and off-season stuff. Everything is like segmented. Everything has its own roles. You got your basketball stuff, you got your skill work, you got the weights, you got the recovery, you got the nutrition, like all those, you should leave that to people who specialize in that.
Yeah,
so all you gotta do is wake up. All you gotta do is sleep. Like, that's the only thing that you gotta do. And then, the training stuff takes care of itself. But I would say from a mental standpoint, again, like, it takes a village. Like, for me, I got a group of people that, I'm working with right now. And it just feels easy. It's just the easiest thing in the world from a mental standpoint because I don't have to worry about, dang, like, when am I gonna get my next session in, or damn, like, when am I gonna come up with the money to pay for this training, or this guy. It's just kind of like at the helm, and all I gotta do is focus on training and just, staying locked in and just not setting any sort of expectation on yourself in terms of where you want to go, but just be more in tune with getting better every day.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how things kind of got simplified for me. I stopped caring about, NBA this, NBA that. Like once I kind of let that leave my mind, like stress just like gone.
Disappeared.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Because we got a time. Every athlete got a clock, you know what I'm saying? And me being 25, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Crazy how we talk about same thing. I'm 26. We talk about this like it's old, and people probably older than us are like, man, y'all so young.
babies.
But, bro, the way our body feel, bro, we feel old, bro.
Yeah.
Like you said, that clock is ticking, bro. Every year that passes by, you like, dang.
It is.
Like I'm getting older, bro. Like that's real.
Once you stop thinking about that junk, man, everything else just kind of, you see everything else like in a wider scope, and you just kind of like, I just want to get better every day. Like the better I get, the closer I get to being the best version of myself, who not gonna want me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the mentality that I'm having right now.
That's real. And then on a lighter note, we always take a segment to wear a clothing brand or something from a friend, a local business or whatever it is, kind of just to show support. And you guys are gonna get tired of me because today I'm wearing some runway apparel from my boy Terrence. As always, I always tell people and stuff like that, I feel like, like my friends' brands are like my designer. Like that's my designer clothes. Everybody want to wear Gucci and stuff like that. Like to me, this is my Gucci shirt. I'm always support my dog's brands and rock my boys' brands. And as always, we'll put the link. So please shop Runway Apparel. I always get a smile on my face when people ask me like, dang, like who made that shirt or what's that shirt? And I get to tell them like, yo, this my dog. That's my people's. So if there's anybody you want to shout out, do so now.
All right, so I got my boy K, who actually he literally just made this today. So shout out to my boy Curvins. This is his clothing brand, Official Hush Clothing. It's pretty solid, and wanted to shout out Chosen One Athletics as well. Nice little clothing brand on the come up.
And so, at one point, I feel like everybody has kind of the time where, again, maybe things aren't going well, they start thinking about it. Maybe everything's going great and they start thinking about it. But at what point did you consider just your life after basketball? Was it early on your career or was it later in your career? Mm-hmm. And even now, do you still struggle with what you want to do in life after the ball stops dropping? I feel like as athletes, we kind of don't think about it until either it's forced upon us or it's just super late in the game and we completely just done with it.
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I think I'm still kind of floating through life when it comes to that question in terms of like what I want to do after. We was talking about it earlier. We was talking about helping kids and helping people in terms of just showing them the way and how to transition through high school, how to transition through college, and how to transition through the professional life. And I've kind of grown a liking to that.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest reasons why I chose the agency that I'm with right now, because it feels like a personal relationship, and I feel like business-wise, it's somebody that I could work with, in the future when it comes to trying to do things for kids like that, or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm a simple guy, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like basketball don't work out, I'm not going to sit here and not try to be great at something.
Yeah.
So I know I still got people that, I got people that look up to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to show them that basketball is like the only way, you know what I mean? I want to show them that like, hey, maybe this didn't work out, or hey, it did work out and I had a great career out of it, but it's always the next step. You always got to ask yourself what's next. So, that's where I have my mind right now.
Yeah, that's real. And I feel like, again, like I said, we need more of that. I feel like the people who I've kind of encountered, they kind of, either they think about it too late, or they don't think about it at all, but then they're kind of stuck in that space where they're not ready to enter the corporate life, which I feel them, because that junk is terrible. I don't wish that upon nobody. I tell people all the time, man, if that's not your thing, it's just not you. Like, don't force that upon yourself. That's why people are so miserable with their life now. Mm-hmm. But they just have no idea what they want to do, so they kind of just float. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, but again, if we started putting it in a lot of the young kids' heads to start thinking about it earlier, I feel like the transition would be so much more smooth.
Easily.
And I feel like that's why we kind of need to, well, I feel like that's kind of personally some of my calling too. I feel like it's a lot easier to have those conversations early, especially with people, like you said, people who look up to you. And the young bulls now are being pulled in so many different directions, so I feel like they always need that voice of guidance of people they look up to. I feel like everybody growing up had like OGs. Like people hate that term now, but whatever. But like I feel like I always had, people who were in different positions than me that were doing better than I was. And even in the most indirect ways, they were always trying to make sure you were straight and steer you from game. Like I said, like to speak literal, like the neighborhood, feel me, the dope boy who I might have known growing up on my block. Same thing, like he was getting money, doing everything like that, but he saw me hooping and always like, nah, you straight, like you feel me, like I'm gonna take care, look out for you, but like, nah, this ain't for you, like stay straight, like stay on the path you on, like do this, even the people that I met when I got to high school who was juniors and seniors, if they saw a little bit of talent in you, they was like, nah, like, hey, bro, keep going, like, don't worry about it now, like keep going, like your time gonna come, like stay the course. This is what I did. We all had to go through our growing pains, and I feel like we just need a little bit more of that at a higher level. Cause I feel like after a certain age, everybody's kind of just stubborn and they kind of just looking out for themselves as opposed to like passing down the free game.
It becomes a money thing.
Yeah.
Really, like, the people that, you looking at, that you mentioned, I can relate the same way. Like, these people cared about us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when it gets to a certain point of time, like, these are people that we don't know, and they're just kind of trying to work an angle or try to find ways to exploit or try to find the next big thing, find out ways how to make bread. Like, when you turn 18, it becomes all about money. So it's just it's unfortunate that, we, like you said, we ain't got more people that, trying to look out for us and stuff like that. But,
That's the name of the game, bro. That's a reality of where we live in. And so the next segment, my favorite segment, the Family Feud segment, we go into kind of just questions that hoopers ask themselves. You probably talked about it with your teammates at some point in time. You thought about it at some point in time. And so we just asking for your honest answer, as elaborate or as short as you can think about or dispel upon. So the first question is, who made you fall in love with the game of basketball?
It wasn't who, it was the Heat.
Really?
Hey,
so you a Heat lifer?
Man, when they started rolling, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. When they started rolling, what you mean?
That's like late talk. That's like early 10s. Like, what you mean?
I ain't start
first ship,
bro. I ain't start like really. I ain't took basketball serious till I hit about 8th grade. Really.
That is true.
Yeah, I didn't really start playing till I was about in the 8th grade. So like when I seen that, man, I'm just like, I thought I was Braun in middle school, hitting the big roll, trying to dunk, Wade hitting the Euro step. But you know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff, just you feel me? Gotta go at the Eagles, dog.
All right, that's real. That's real. You still support them now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
I'm a Bron fan.
I knew that's why I knew it was going.
Wherever he at on
See,
that.
that's exactly why I knew that's where it was going. That's why I asked you that. You got to distinguish between if you're a fan of a player or the team. Sorry, Heat fan. That's how a lot of your fan base is.
Hey, man, it's all love,
It be like that.
It's all love.
And the next question is, if you had to beat out any player for a 10-day contract, if coach came and saw you two in the workout and you was like, you know what, like, if nothing else, bro, I know that I'll beat him out for a spot, who would it be? And this ain't no disrespect to nobody. It's who you think, like, hey, like, I like my chances.
Honestly, give them all to me, man. I don't want to single out nobody who I feel like is weak, because it's like, if I'm beating a 15-man, I'm beating 15-man.
That's real. That's a good angle, though. I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just give me anybody as long as they ain't in the top 10. Don't make no highlight out of it, dog. I still want to look respectable, you feel me?
So keep it general so everybody can get it.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, I like that. And if college you could go back into high school you, one thing about the game and about your journey, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Actually, let me look into the camera, because this might be
go on the rant. Go on the rant. Here we go. I love these. Go ahead.
Young me, don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And don't let people tell you who you are. Don't let people try to dictate who they think you should be or who you are. Don't worry about anybody else's opinion, man. Kill every day that you can.
Yeah.
Don't take no days off. Don't come to practice bullshitting. Every day is 100%. That's all I gotta tell you. You gonna know what I'm talking about.
That probably would have saved you a lot of trouble, huh?
Well, ask for help too. Ask for help, man. I was so stubborn when I was younger.
Everybody was.
So,
I can't name a person who wasn't. We was all know-it-alls and didn't know a thing.
Man, I ain't know nothing.
And then Were you the type of player that, this is actually a great follow-up question, were you the type of player that responded well to hard coaching, or were you more internally motivated to where nobody had to tell you nothing, you was just like, because again, kind of me, and I always revert back to this, like there was nothing that a coach, my parent, anything could tell me that I wasn't saying worse in my head. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was the most critical person of myself. So for me, like it didn't matter what the coaching was. You could curse me out, like that didn't like hurt me or nothing like that. Like, cause in my head I'm already like, hey, like let's get right. You know what I'm saying? So were you the person who kind of responded well to hard coaching, or were you more so like, hey, I got this. It's on me. Like everything's on me.
I would say I was always I was internally motivated. But I mean, I feel like I needed a good mixture of the two. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you don't know if you bullshitting until you watch film and everybody killing you.
You think you was playing well. Yeah.
So I had too much days like that. So I mean, I would say I was internally motivated, but I needed a little bit of somebody to push me.
Okay. And then last question for this round: speak the next 5 years into existence of how you would want it to look. So everything from on the court, off the court, everything. What would it ideally look like if it was up to you? 25 right now, so that 5 year mark, that's 30 ball. 30. That's crucial.
Hey, I'm still in my prime. So. Next 5 years, man, I just honestly, like, I'm looking at it from a standpoint, like we was talking about earlier, just not caring about the NBA, not caring about gotten to be in the highest league, like not feeling that pressure and just trying to improve every day, trying to be better at something. Because when you chasing, something of that high stature, you kind of get lost in like the process. Like that stuff is fun. Like you gotta have fun with that. So I'd say the next 5 years, man, I really just focusing on taking like day by day approach and just improving every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I mean, focusing on improving every day, like in the next 5 years, ain't no telling where I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I could be in the NBA, or I could be president, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just the fact that I tried to get better, with myself, with my people, and just everything else, like all together, I feel like, that's the best answer I got,
That's real. And then in the next 5 years, you could also be in jail. Going with this next question. So if I gave you 5 shots from half court, you make one, you get some M's. You miss all 5, you go to jail and do like 30 years. Would you take the deal?
Where my money at?
Okay, that's what I like to hear. That's exactly what I like to hear. We love risk takers on this show, bro.
Let's go.
Gamble every single time you can. Bet on yourself.
Where my money at? Let's do it. Man, what's up? I'm shooting wherever I got to shoot. All right, check me out. First try.
I thought that was good, too. I thought that was good for real.
Hey, what's that, 4 left? Oh, shit. Oh,
nope, that ain't it. That ain't it.
That's all.
He got 3 left.
Man. Here we go. In there.
That was supposed to be in. That was your
crazy.
one.
That's crazy. Yes, sir.
Dang, that took you like 15. So this week, my call to action is a little bit different. I kind of just want to speak to the people a little bit and talk to those who are sitting on some type of talent or untapped potential and they don't know what to do with it. Just a little bit of insight. The way, even how I started this podcast, I felt like I was kind of running around thinking about, who was going to support. Will people even like it? Like, am I even doing something worth doing? I'm just here to tell you, man, do it. Don't even trip off of who's supporting you. I feel like the process of doing this whole thing has been interesting because the people who I wouldn't even have guessed have been my biggest supporters. So don't get caught up on your friends not supporting or whatever it is. I know that type of stuff kind of hurts people, but I went to a concert this past weekend, and it actually was a Isaiah Rashad concert. And they were saying how, you're going to start something and then you're going to look and the whole crowd's going to be your fans. So you're not going to really worry about your friends not supporting you. So I feel like people always need that extra push, that extra motivation. I'm here to tell you, man, do it. If you don't know where to start, man, don't worry about having all the X's and O's planned out, bro. Just start it. I promise you'll figure it out on the way. I promise you don't need as much help as you think you do. If you need support, if you need somebody in your corner, like, bro, we got you. Like, this is all of us. Like, we support you. We'll help you with it. Whatever question you have, we'll figure it out together. So everybody who's wasting away their potential, whatever talents they have, whatever gifts God gave you, man, please, 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 please do yourself a favor, do us a favor, and start whatever it is, whatever business, whatever side hustle. Please, you're hiding your gifts from the world, so please start whatever you got to do. And then the next thing, kind of our sponsor message, is just in notice of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Just an amazing time, I think, to reflect. And it's crazy how I never knew we had any of these mental health awareness months or any of these months altogether until people start kind of posting about them on social media and stuff like that. But this is just a time for us to just talk to just the people like us in our lives. I feel like, especially as men, especially as black men, I feel like we don't kind of go through or process the trauma that we go through the way we need to. And I feel like this is kind of a big sore spot for me because, I mean, I feel like we was all taught the same way. You know, thug it out, you know, charge it to the game, keep it pushing. And I feel like that works for a lot of us, but I feel like a lot of us, we got so much scars that we don't really talk about. I feel like that's why, you know, they talk about just the suicide numbers and how they're so high. We talk about the people who are going through stuff that nobody knows about, and just how it's important for us to talk to somebody about it. I mean, a lot of us have, you know, our dogs, our people that we can talk to. But if life ever gets too heavy, like, don't be scared to seek help. Don't be scared to talk to somebody. Like, it don't make you any less strong. I mean, you ain't gonna be no sucker if you talk to somebody about it. So please take your mental health seriously. Please talk to your friends. There's always somebody, even if you don't think so, that'll listen. So please just reach out if you need somebody to talk to. As I said, man, we're a community, especially if you're an athlete, man. There's nobody who would hit me up about anything that I would never not respond to or shrug off. So whoever needs somebody that they need to talk to, whoever has life that's beating them down right now, we all going through things, please speak up and talk to whoever you need to talk to.
I don't know how you just do a stance. I gotta get a little.
You got jump.
I gotta get a little something. Oh, sure.
Hey, that's close. Shit, close to me, Devin.
That's all right, 0-1. I just needed one to find it.
I'm good now.
Gotta see this. Close.
It's 2.
You got 2 more, my boy.
That's 1.
Oh, money.
Oh my God!
Oh, that might be it, folks.
What? That's money.
Hey.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I ain't going to jail, bro. There ain't no way. I knew I wasn't tripping, dog. I knew I wasn't tripping. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Dang. Okay.
I'm still undefeated.
That's crazy.
I was like, dang.
That's crazy. Can't leave on a miss.